Hello friends! If you're looking for a reset button in Moho, you've chosen the right video to watch. In fact, to reset your Moho, all you have to do is to go to the save folder of your Moho and delete this file. But after that, you'll lose a lot of settings, like the place of your windows, the address of your content folder, the colors of your windows in Moho, your default settings in project settings window, and the address of your recently opened files, and more and more. The good news is, I designed a reset button for Moho. It's actually a little software called Moho Resetter. You can use it for Moho 12, 12.5, 13, 13.5, 14 and higher. And don't worry, it works on both Debut and Pro. And using this little software, you can check the settings that you want to keep and then reset your Moho. And the download link is in the description in case you want to download it right away. And first, let's suppose you're in a hurry and you want to quickly reset your Moho. So I'm gonna teach it fast in less than 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna explain it slower and deeper so you can see what every option in this little software does. Let's go! After downloading the software, you right click on it and extract it. Then you open it, make sure your Moho is closed, and choose your version from here. I'm gonna choose Moho 13 Pro. Then you click on here. By default, you should be in the correct address, so you double click on this file to open it. And if your file is acceptable, you're gonna see this check. Then from here, you check the settings that you don't want to reset and you want to keep them. After that, you click on Reset Moho. You're gonna see this file that has been created for you. Right click on it, copy it. Then you go back. If your Moho version is 13 or higher, you have to go to Lost Marble folder. But if your Moho version is 12, you have to scroll down and choose a Smith Micro. And because my Moho version is 13.5, I choose Lost Marble. I want to reset my Moho Pro, so I go to this folder. 13, 13.5 or etc. doesn't matter, you have to go to 13. Right click on here, paste, and replace the file, and choose open. You're gonna see this message that says your Moho 13 Pro has been successfully reset. It means that we did everything right, and now we can open our Moho. As long as you don't close this software, you can undo your last reset. But if you close it, the last reset button turns gray and becomes unavailable until you choose Reset Moho or Full Reset again. After you reset your Moho, you can undo your last reset by clicking on this option, copy this file, then you go back, go to Lost Marble folder or Smith Micro folder, depends on your version. And from here you choose the version that you want to undo its last reset. I'm going to choose Moho Pro. Go to this folder, right click on here and choose paste and replace. And don't forget to choose open. And as you can see, it says your Moho 13 Pro last reset has been successfully undone. As you can see, every time we use reset, this software is going to keep some settings of your Moho. But if you don't want to keep anything and you want to reset all of these settings, you can use full reset. So I'm going to choose it, right click on this file and choose copy. Then you go back. Again, it depends on the version that you're using. Because my Moho is 13, I go here and here. Right click on here, choose paste and replace. Then I choose open. And as you can see, it says your Moho 13 Pro has been completely reset, which means that we did everything completely right. And now if you open your Moho, every settings will be like the first time that you open Moho. Now I'm gonna explain how to use this software when you're a beginner. First of all, it says make sure your Moho is closed. The reason is that if you reset your Moho using Moho Resetter and your Moho is opened, after you close it, Moho is gonna overwrite your reset. So it means that all of the changes done by this software will be deleted and Moho replaces its own settings with it. That's why it says make sure your Moho is closed. In the next step, you have to choose your own version. If you click on it, you can see that it supports Moho 13 Pro, Moho 13 Debut, Moho 12 Pro, and Moho 12 Debut. If the version that you're using is between 12 and 13, you should use 12. If it's higher than 13, you should use 13. The Pro version is the main version of Moho. Using this version of Moho, you can have all of the tools and features, but debut versions have their own limitations. So using these versions, you have not access to some of the features and tools. And also I have to mention that if this is the future and you're watching this video and for example you use Moho 14, for Moho 14 Pro you choose this one, and for Moho 14 Debut you choose this one. Next, it says give me the address of Moho user settings file. To give this software the address, we have to click on these three dots and read the top of the window. So we click on here. At the top of this window, you should see the address that you have to go to choose the file. If this window is very small, you can expand it by dragging on here to see all of these text above the window. By default, depending on the version that you've chosen, you should be in the correct address. So all you have to do is to double click on this file like this. If I change the version and click on here, you can see that the message above is different from the previous one. Now it says go to Lost Marble and Moho Debut, and also by default you find yourself in the correct address. One cool feature of this software is that if you want to go to the address manually, for example you want to choose Moho Pro, I'm gonna double click on here, but you look here, okay? See? This software will automatically recognize your version. Also, if you use Moho 14 or higher, this option won't change, and my software doesn't recognize it. But you still can use Moho 13 settings to reset your Moho. And let's talk about when you want to choose your address manually. To go to your address, we have some easy ways and some hard ways. First, I'm gonna talk about some hard ways. From the left side of this window, I scroll down. I find the C drive, I go to it. Then it says go to C users, so I go to users folder. Then you have to choose your username, which in this case for me is model. And as you can see, the app data folder by default is hidden. So if you want to find it, you can click on here, go to show, and check your hidden items. Let's go back to the software. Then you go to app data, roaming, and it says we have to go to Lost Marble, Moho Pro 13. So we find Lost Marble, Moho Pro 13, and we have to choose this file. We click on it and choose open. You can also find your address easier by clicking on this option. Click on here, type %appdata %, and hit enter. You find yourself in this address. So we're now halfway through. We just have to go to Lost Marble, Moho 13. So I choose Lost Marble, Moho Pro, and 13, and choose the file by double clicking on it. In the next step, it says check what to keep and choose Reset Moho or other options. Then do the instructions at the top of the window and choose Open. For example, this option is keep opened and docked Windows settings. So if you're not sure what this means, you can click on here and see a picture that shows you what this option does. So if you've opened one of these windows or closed them, after resetting, your Moho is going to remember that which windows were opened and which windows were closed. Let me open my Moho. So for example, take a look at this style window here. If we go to window, we can close it or open it again. And if you want to move this window freely all over your workspace, you can go to window, choose docking, and choose style. Now we can move it freely. And to dock it again, we just have to go to window, docking, and check the style window. So using this check, Moho is going to remember which window was closed and which window was opened and which one of them was docked and which one of them wasn't docked. Also, it's going to remember the position of those windows in your workspace. For the next option, keep the path of recently opened files. Sometimes you've recently opened some projects, and if you go to File, Open Recent, you can see the projects that you've recently opened. And by clicking on Clear Menu, you can reset this list. So when you want to reset your software to keep your recently opened projects, you have to check this option. As you know, you can find more information about this option by clicking on this icon. Then we have Keep Startup File Settings. Every time you open your Moho, right after you open it, Moho can automatically do a lot of things. If you go to Edit, Preferences, from here, you can see the Startup File option. For example, right after you open the Moho, it can open a new document for you. Or if you click on it, you can choose Default Startup File, which means that one of the Moho projects will be open for you. Or this option will do nothing. Or this one is going to open the last saved document for you. Or from here, you can choose one of your saves and tell the Moho that every time you open it, it should automatically open that document for you. So no matter which one of these options you choose, if you want to keep its settings, you have to check this option. And also if you click on here, you can see the image. Then we have Keep Editor Colors and Appearance. So for example, if you go to Editor Colors, you can change the color of everything, like the color of your background, or your selected frames, or your selected points and bones. Or from here, Appearance, you can change the color of the windows, like this. And as you can see, this color is blue now. We can change it to red, for example. And if I click on OK, all of the colors of windows will be changed. So to keep all of these settings in Editor Colors and Appearance, you can check this option. And if you forget what this is about, you can click on Information and see its photo. So before explaining the next one, I'm going to reset everything and choose OK. Let's go back to the software. Then we have Keep the Path of Content folder. This is the path of the folders that you save your brushes in. So if you want to know more about content folder, I explained them in a video about brushes. It's in this playlist, you can go and watch it. But in this video, to show you where you can find this path, I have to say that you go to Edit, Preferences, and here we have Custom Content Folder. To use it, all you have to do is to choose this option, choose the address of your content folder, and then choose Select Folder. Because I already have selected it, I choose Cancel. So after you reset your software, it's going to reset this address and forget it. But to keep this address, you can check this option. And from here, you can see its photo. Then we have Keep Your Default Project Settings. In fact, I also have a video about it. If you want to know more about project settings, you can go and watch it. But to explain what this option does, I can say that you have to go to File and choose Project Settings. And from here, you can restore defaults, which is going to be the default made by Moho. You can also create your own default by choosing your favorite settings and clicking on Save as Defaults. And after that, if you create a new document, the project settings of that document will be based on your default. But if you reset your Moho, you're gonna lose your default. So to keep your default, you have to check this option. You can also see a photo of project settings window by clicking on here. Then we have Keep Advanced and Checker Selection checkbox, which is going to be these two checkboxes. However, if you use Moho Debut, you don't have access to this option, but still, if you check this option, it's going to remember the state of this checkbox for your Moho Debut. Let me click on here. Using Advanced, you can expand your style window to have more options. And now let's talk about checker selection. If you, for example, draw a shape, and enable this checkbox and hit Q and select it, the shapes that you select are going to be filled with this checker texture. But if you remove this checkbox, every time you draw a shape and hit Q to select it, you can see a rectangle around it. By checking this option, after you reset it, your Moho is going to still remember the state of these two checkboxes. So for example, let's say we uncheck this checkbox, go to Edit, Preferences, and Appearance. Then I'm going to change my brightness and change this color and choose OK, OK again. And now I'm going to reset my Moho. So first I have to close my software, choose Don't Save. I want to reset my Windows and I don't want to keep these settings. So I uncheck this option. Then I click on here, choose my file, click on here, right click on this file, choose copy. Then I go back, go to Last Marble, Moho Pro 13, right click on here, paste it, replace it, choose open. It was successful, so now I can open my Moho by clicking on here. Because we reset our Moho, Moho is gonna find our content folder and ask us for updating it. We choose OK. And now as you can see, I only reset my Windows, but it kept the state of these two checkboxes. If I go to File and choose Project Settings, I can still have the same settings. And if I go to Edit, Preferences, it kept my startup file and the path of my custom content folder and my editor colors and my appearance. And also, if I go to File, from here, it still has the path of my recently opened project. So this is how you're going to use this software. And now I'm going to talk about how you can reset your Moho 13 debut. Let me choose it, click on here, then you choose this file. I'm going to keep this setting, then I click on here. Now we have two files, and up here it says copy Moho debut 13. So we right click on it and copy it. Then we have to replace it with the file in this address. So we go back, go to Last Marble, Moho debut 13, right click on here, choose paste and replace. And then we have to click on open. To reset your Moho 12 Pro, you click on here and choose your version. Then you go here and double click on your file. After that, you have to click on Reset Moho. It says copy this file and replace it with the file in this address. So we copy it. Go back, go to Smith Micro, Moho Pro 12, right click on here and choose paste and then replace, and then we choose open. To reset your Moho 12 debut, you choose this version, click on here, choose this file, click on here. It says copy this file and replace it with the file in this address. So we right click on Moho debut 12, then go back, go to Smith Micro, Moho debut 12, right click, choose paste and replace, and then click on open. As I said, you can reset your Moho if you're using Moho 14 or higher. To do that, you have to click on here. If the version that you want to reset is Pro, choose this one. If it's debut, choose this one. So in this case, let's say our Moho 14 version is Pro. So we click on here, then we go here. Because Moho 14 hasn't been released yet, I'm not sure where the address of this file is, but you're probably gonna find the file if you just go back and you find 14 here. In this case, my file is on my desktop, so it doesn't matter where it is. I'm gonna click on here, go to 14 and choose my file. Then I click on here. It says copy this file and paste it here. So we just copy the file. And you should know that after you close my software, all of these files here will be automatically deleted. So make sure you select the file and then go to the address of where the file was. Right click on here and paste it and replace it. Then you just have to click on open. And although the message says your Moho 13 Pro has been successfully reset, you know that it was Moho 14. Now let's talk about some common errors in this software. For example, let's say we choose Moho 13 Pro and we click on here. From here, you can only choose the files that end with .user.settings. But to see other files, you can click on here and choose Moho settings to see the files that end with .settings. And to see all of the files, you can click on here and choose all. If you choose a wrong file, like this one, it says choose this file, which means that we chose the wrong file and you won't be able to reset your software. Another error is that when you haven't applied any reset yet and you choose, for example, Moho Pro, you choose your file and then reset Moho. If you don't copy and paste the right file and you don't choose open and choose cancel instead, you're gonna see a yellow error here. And also, if you copy and paste the wrong file or the address that you paste your file is wrong and you choose open, you're gonna see this error which says, I think it was unsuccessful. Don't forget to choose open. Although this software that I made can be run on different versions of Windows, I'm still not sure because I've only tested it on Windows 11. So if you have different versions of Windows and you've used this software, just let me know in the comment section so the other users can be aware of if this software can be run on different versions of Windows or not. And that's it, guys. As you can see, there is also a link up here that you can click on it and go to my channel. So if you like this software, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be very glad if you just let me know your opinion about it, and see you in the next one.